And we are in! Hello everyone, and welcome to this first game in the semi-final best-of-5 matchup between Mr. Yo, playing as the Huns, and Really Diao, or Vivi, playing as the Huns, of course. This is the Legacy of the Huns semi-finals matchup. Huns only, this whole tournament. And as I was saying to the chat, the Voobly official chat beforehand, these players are very evenly matched. Traditionally, Mr. Yo has been always known as the best 1 versus 1 Huns player. He was able to go toe-for-toe with the Viper in the 1 versus 1 invitational tournament about 2.5 years ago. Man, I've been in this community for quite a while if I remember that, but he's always been at the top 1 versus 1. Recently, however, in the last year, Vivi has significantly improved in 1 versus 1s. He's got a very unique playstyle since Wololo Kingdoms with very aggressive, sometimes to his detriment, but very aggressive, control the map playstyle. And it should be really fun to watch. It's always a pleasure to watch Vivi's games. And if you haven't seen any of his games before, well, where have you been? Under a rock? But it should be a lot of fun to watch him today anyway. And yeah, this is a new Huns War. This is the Wololo Kingdoms. So these aren't your traditional Huns Wars. There's been a few balance changes, which I could go over. Again, if you've been under a rock for a while. So basically, their economy bonus was nerfed just a little bit since the houses cost 5 wood. Not a big deal. Cavalry archers cost a little bit more, which is a little bit of a big deal. And Tarkans are now much more viable with +1 pierce armor for the non-elite and elite version, as well as they're able to be made out of stables with the Huns' unique technology. So with those differences, we might see a little less cavalry archer focus play, and more knights, more Tarkans, more variation here. However, cavalry archers are probably still the way to go, and I'm very interested to see how this shapes out. It's been quite a while since I saw Huns Wars. Alright, so now that we've introduced the players a little bit, first, let's check out this. This is a little interesting. Vivi's actually gone forward with his scout, and he's actually going to steal the sheep of Mr. Yo. And this is Vivi scouting right away. Just scouted the main part of his base, found 6 of his sheep, so he's doing pretty all right. Might have 2 more to find, I think. And sometimes hard to see on the minimap, but he's got 3 relics next to him. And now he's going to scout the rest of Mr. Yo's base. Let's check Mr. Yo's scouting since we checked Vivi's scouting. Somewhat similar scouting, actually. Went straight over to Vivi's base. So both these players are thinking along the same lines. They're really, they're really trying to win. No sportsmanship here. If you didn't know already, Vivi used to be a part of Psy, and I believe he's now a part of Frantic in the ECL. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat. But so these guys used to be really close on the same team. They both used to play for China in the Nations Cup. There were 2 Nations Cup, and they were a very big deal. A lot of money involved for 2 years. And now they're on different teams because there was a little bit of controversy there, which I'm not really going to go into. And I think they've gotten past most of that as well, although they are still on different teams now. So these players certainly have a lot of history. Certainly, I'm sure all the Chinese players play together quite a bit. And Mr. Yo still does not have a loom, so therefore Vivi is going to be delaying this boar, which is not nice. You want to go usually 21 population scouts. That's the main strategy for the Huns. Sometimes you can see a Dark Age or a Men-at-Arms rush, or Tower rush, as Vivi likes to do. But Huns has always been, Scouts have always been the dominant strategy for the Huns, except for a while there. Maybe a good year or 2 where the Dark Age rush really was very prominent for whatever reason. Even without balance changes, the meta tends to change a little bit. And Vivi's just being really annoying here. It looks like he's going to lose the scout battle, probably. And he might actually take this fight. I think that scout is on the bottom of the hill, and Mr. Yo's not really paying attention. Yeah. So Yo's going to have to go back. This is very annoying. Of course, this is going to get onto scout-on-scout action in the feudal age, so every little bit of HP matters, and this is certainly disrupting Mr. Yo's build order. We'll see if it impacts his uptime. If he has to go up 1 population later, that could be a big difference in this game. Meanwhile, let's talk a little bit about the map, because the maps are really important when these civilizations are so aggressive. So Vivi is going to choose to put a double lumber line on this 1 wood. He's got a gold on the right side and forward berries. How can he wall his map? It's going to be a little bit tough. He's going to have to spend a lot of wood on it. Still probably be open. He could wall a little here. Wall like this. That's not a big deal. This is very tough. Going to be very tough to wall. Maybe he'll try to wall in through here. One good or bad thing, though, most of his resources are towards the back. And hopefully he could just be able to defend this little box right here with some spearmen or whatever he needs to do. Would be a lot worse if his gold was forward. And speaking of forwards, there we go. Vivi going to go for a forward. He's gone up on 22 population. 21 which are villagers. And Mr. Yo has gone for a Dark Age Rush. And is starting to wall up heavily. Should not get those walls up in time before those villagers come in forward. So two very different strategies from these players. I was wrong about the scouts play entirely. And I'm glad to see some variation in the strategy. Again, this is why we're watching these games. The Huns can have quite a bit of variation, even in a mirror war. So Vivi going to take out that scout. That's great. Less scouting information from Mr. Yo. That's really important. This is not a big deal because Vivi didn't look like he was going to go for the deer anyway. And let's see what damage Mr. Yo could do. As Vivi has gone here and undetected, remember, Mr. Yo just lost a scout. Going to go with the barracks right away and probably plop down an archery range. This is high risk. Vivi always plays high risk, high reward. On the one hand, he could lose his military abilities, could lose 4 villagers here. On the other hand, this could be really surprise Mr. Yo and do quite a bit of damage. And lumber line's going to get walled up. And militia are forward. Now, where should the militia be? The militia should actually defend against the forward. You never want to go forward against a player that's building militia if they find you. Obviously, Mr. Yo has not found Vivi. And this archer range is already up. So this Dark Age Rush, very ineffective. And should go around to the right side. Maybe can pick off a villager. We'll have to see. Vivi, of course, only on food and wood. Going to go with spearmen and skirmishers. And now Mr. Yo has seen. However, the archer range and the barracks is already up. And this village is getting quite low. Going to take too many shots from these villagers. Oh, wow! That was, wow. Great micro. One less shot and that villager would not have gone down. One villager lead from Vivi. Vivi's probably going to plop down a tower here, and he's got enough military at this stage to defend against it. As Vivi's going to try, as Mr. Yo is going to try to deny it, but it's clearly not going to work. Mr. Yo panic a little bit. He needs to run his villagers back. He's actually going to build a counter tower, going to build another militia. And this tower is up on 50% now. There we go. Mr. Yo just advancing the feudal age. Can now put down his tower. Going to upgrade to men-at-arms. Men-at-arms! However, tower is almost up. Will Mr. Yo lose an additional villager? There we go. Tower is up. No villagers down quite yet. These villagers are under the tower. This could be a very successful defense from Mr. Yo. Wow. This is what we were talking about. High risk, high reward. On the one hand, though, Vivi has already done his damage. His opponent is off of gold. And has had to completely redesign his strategy. Has had to upgrade to men-at-arms. And this village is getting very low. 7 HP left. Just a few more skirmisher volleys, and she should be down. That village is going to take too many shots. And if Vivi's on stone, he can plop down another tower. However, he's just gone over to stone right now. One thing you want to be aware of when you go forward, and I learned this through experience, is you really want to have a good idea of when you want to take stone, if you want to take stone. If Vivi was on stone 1 minute earlier, he'd have enough stone to put up another tower, which would be a big deal. This is looking really good for Vivi, though. He's upgraded to men-at-arms. Men-at-arms typically do very well against spearmen and skirmishers, and villagers as well. 2 archer ranges up from Mr. Yo. Vivi is, of course, walled in, so these 4 villagers could go down. Villager count right now is 31 to 30. And that's unfortunate. You never want to have that happen. Never want the archer to get battered down by a men-at-arm. And it looks like this could be a potentially big blow to Vivi, as these villagers are getting very weak. They have nowhere left to run. Military count 7 to 6. And that villager's certainly going to go down. I know, I know. William Wallace, ultra hardcore. And I don't know, if you're Vivi, do you keep building skirmishers? They're most likely still going to go down. On the one hand, Mr. Yo is wasting a lot of villager idle time right now. But on the other hand, this could be a lot of wasted resources if all these skirmishers go down. One big thing here is going to be the fletching upgrade. Players are going to want to afford that as soon as possible. And going back to Vivi, I'm actually curious. Yeah, he's taken his villagers off of stone. That's the correct decision. Obviously, there's no forward villagers to build any towers yet. And he's going to go forward with 4 new villagers. This is how Vivi plays. If he's lost his forward, he's just going to send more villagers forward. And there is still a little bit of a hole here, which Mr. Yo might not be aware of. Looks like these archer ranges might get walled in time. As you can see, Vivi's still building units out of these archer ranges, has started to switch over to archers to do more damage to the village. It's going to plop a tower down right here. With that tower, should be able to break through these palisade walls and free this archer range if it does get walled in. Quick reaction from Mr. Yo, does see it through the palisade walls line of sight, which is very small, by the way. And this tower might get denied, which is certainly going to be another big issue for Vivi. So if Vivi placed it a little bit further back, should have been able to get that tower up. He's going to actually try to force this tower up. I'm going to go over to Vivi's point of view to see the percentage. 85% right now. And these villagers are just too low now. In fact, this villager will very likely go down. Just needs one more hit. That villager decided she didn't have the guts to do it, apparently. Okay, she's going to get away. Wow. Very lucky there. And just going to batter down that tower. Actually be faster maybe to wall it in, but this villagers could just come back and build another tower. And Vivi's actually sending only 1 villager over. Maybe for a sneaky tower somewhere up in the north. Right now, big difference in this game, though. 3 extra villagers for Mr. Yo. 12 extra military. Lots of farms for Mr. Yo, about 10. Same thing for Vivi, though. So food count is doing pretty well. And Vivi has now transitioned into scouts, which is something we... And the Huns really love their feudal war, so it's something that's quite often we see from the Huns. Other civilizations, if this was, I don't know, Saracens or a civilization without great eco bonuses, the Goths, they would not invest so heavily into the feudal age. Which again makes the Huns pretty fun to watch. Other civilizations wouldn't invest back into a stable. So remember that Hun stables work 20% faster. And there's quick reaction from Mr. Yo, though, adding 1 spearman in. That spearman saved all of those skirmishers. Ooh, horse collar coming in from Vivi. This is one of those times, whenever a player never researches horse collar, you never really see the direct effect of it. But it actually, it does make a huge impact on the economy. That's a lot of wood wasted by getting that so late. And that's what happens sometimes when you forward your opponent. Sometimes it's necessary to save that 75 food, 75 wood for other things that might be more important. However, there's a lot of wasted wood for Vivi. These 2 archery ranges, basically unusable now. Only positive thing for Vivi right now, I mean, he's going scouts. And maybe he's caused a little bit of extra idle time from Mr. Yo, although I don't think so, considering he's down on villagers. And it looks like this villager's heading back to do some work back at home. Now, interestingly, Vivi is still taking stone. That might be for town centers. He's only up on 100 stone. He has chosen to wall this way like we predicted in the very beginning of the game. However, is not walled up over here. Market coming down from Mr. Yo. And these players should be up at about the same time. Mr. Yo very low on gold, actually, just transitioning to gold right now. He's been, of course, on skirmishers and spearmen only. And Vivi's actually the first player to click up to the next stage. Better economy management from Vivi, I think. However, he will have to defend from these spearmen and skirmishers. This tower, okay, stone is safe. These farms, a little bit exposed. Not too much, though. There's 2 towers here. Those are great placements on the towers. And if Vivi can just wall in through here, he's good to go. So that investment on stone, looking to pay off quite a bit. And these skirmishers and spearmen not going to be very strong in the next age. if Vivi wants to go knights, certainly he'll go knights. Just want to keep these guys alive for now. And don't worry about that berry bush. It's only got 17 food left on it. So in the next stage, skirmishers can be very effective against cavalry archers. However, the spearmen will not be that effective against the knights. You could upgrade to pikemen, but why invite the Huns players to make cavalry archers? If Mr. Yo makes the pikeman upgrade, then we could see cavalry archer from Vivi. Oh boy, one more villager down. So certainly a very even game so far, despite all the action at the beginning. I would say Mr. Yo has a slight lead here. He's got more military, he's got more villagers. Although Vivi is going to be up about a minute earlier. Best thing Vivi could do, make a few knights and clean up this army right away. Would not hesitate on that. Meanwhile, Mr. Yo's going to go 3 archer ranges. Sorry, 5 ranges. For once the spectators were... Was it 5 archer ranges? No, it's 3. Oh, no, it's 5. There we go. It's 5. For once the spectators in the chat were useful. So there we go. Knight's going to be created right away. Remember, again, Hun Stable's creating faster. And, oh, no, don't take that fight quite yet. Oh, that was a close one. The spearman didn't attack anything. Surprisingly, this knight's going to actually go to the left, and one knight's going to go towards the south. Vivi doesn't think he needs both knights here, and he might be right. That knight's going to get fairly low. Spearmen are going to get distracted. Oh, no, oh, yeah, they're going to get a knight. Okay. But all these skirmishes are going to go down. So the military count's going to be even out now. The interesting thing about this game is that we have full cavalry archers from Mr. Yo. And for Vivi, we have full knights. And this could lead itself to different playstyles. Remember, again, before previous Age of Conquerors wars, cavalry archers were dominant. However, they are more expensive now. And normally, Huns players in AOC, 5 archer ranges, no problem. Now... might be a little bit more of a problem. So Mr. Yo, he's doing very well. 5 archer ranges all working. However, he's going to be low on gold in a second here. And therefore, all of these ranges won't be able to work. And as a Knights player, you really want to be able to do some good raiding. But either army composition. But it's more like a brute force approach. Later on in the game, if there becomes a mass of 20, 25 cavalry archers versus, 20 knights, you can one-shot with the cavalry archers and run back. Walls are very important for a cavalry archer player. So you can have enough time to mass up. And, of course, Mr. Yo has those walls. He needs to keep them up. And 1 extra town center from Mr. Yo. 1 extra town center from Vivi. Going to want to find another wood line. This one's starting to be very inefficient. Going to want to move on to the bottom one. And aside from that, Vivi really doesn't have very much other good wood lines. That's going to be a dead knight right there. Or not. Not enough cavalry archers quite yet. Vivi getting the monks already. I would prefer this town center right here. There it's 1 tile off and not going to be able to prevent cavalry archer raiding very much. And there's actually a small hole here. And another big upgrade here is going to be the husbandry upgrade. Now only 150 food. With the husbandry upgrade, both players should be able to attack and defend a lot easier. Yeah, I agree. Habisfi. I did pronounce it right. So, yeah, I agree. The cavalry archers are certainly more flexible. It's a more ideal army composition. And again, later and later, the cavalry archers should be stronger than the knights. One thing you can do with knights, though, you can add skirmishers to them. Wow. Vivi's actually going with the Scorpion over Mangonel. I actually like that decision, I think. And this should be enough knights to take this fight. Let's see. Again, I hope... I don't think Vivi has husbandry. I haven't seen it come up researched on the top. That's a big, big upgrade. And ballistics just being done. So these cavalry archers can hit and run a lot easier. Thumbring's going to be the next big one. And this fight has not gone very well for Vivi. Maybe with the Scorpion we'll do a little bit better. We have the Monk here. He's going to maybe get a conversion. And a very forward town center from Mr. Yo. This is actually his gold, I believe. And where is this husbandry upgrade? Am I mad? I'm gonna check the tech tree, because this is very important. Oh, I think it has been researched. My bad. Okay, it has been researched. I must have missed it. Anyway, I'm liking these Scorpion editions. The Mangonels are more expensive. They're not really that effective against Cavalry Archers, because the Cavalry Archers are so mobile and so beefy. And really, they take up a lot of space, too. Let's check the villager count. 10 villagers ahead for Mr. Yo. However, we'll have 3 relics. We did mention at the beginning of the game he had 3 relics right next to him. And you know these are great players when they're actually picking up the relics. I never do in my games. Yeah, there we go. 3 town centers. 4 town centers for Mr. Yo, actually. Should pull ahead in economy and gonna add a siege workshop, too. So it's really good when you're ahead in economy and you're also being the aggressor. You really have both things going for you. Thumb Ring, that's the last big upgrade for Cavalry Archers. And let's see how these Scorpions do, I guess. But Vivi looks to be in a tough spot this game. The Cavalry Archers' numbers are high. They're able to 1- or 2-shot Knights. That one was weak. And now we'll just see probably a Mangonel from Mr. Yo to counter the Scorpions, I assume. And this is something I'm glad to see. This is something that's kind of new. As soon as they see the flags on the Siege Workshop, they run back. It's kind of something new to see. I wonder if this is going to be like new meta or whatever. But we're seeing Scorpions to counter the Cavalry Archers instead of the Mangonels traditionally. And one reason for that, the Scorpions got an additional Pierce armor in the Wololo Kingdoms, making them more effective against Archer-type units. And there we go. Mangonel's going to pop out. Going to get 1. 1 for 1 is not a great trade. 2 for 1 is a good trade, though. One going to come in from behind these Cavalry Archers. There's way too many. Even a few Knights being added from Mr. Yo. Going to diversify his army. I believe that was a stable. That was from the stable. Yeah, the upgrades are different. Well, it's going to put in some work. I'm going to keep my eye out. Yeah, there's more Knights being created. This is the strongest army composition you could possibly have. Knights and Cavalry Archers for the Huns. And this is going to be very hard for Vivi to defend. Ram EV being made from Mr. Yo. This is going to be the vulnerable town center for Vivi. He needs to put everything he can to defend this town center. He's got no castles on the way. That's not going to be an option. I'm going to switch over to Mangonels. Apparently didn't like how the Scorpions did against the Mangonels of Mr. Yo. The Mangonels, of course, will be good against the Rams, too. And it's really up to this one big fight. If Vivi loses one big fight here, it's game over. And don't want to play too much with these Knights. These Cavalry Archers do have Thumb Ring Ballistics. They're all kind of grouped up here, though, so shoot! 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 Oh, that was a huge shot. That was good. Killing a lot of Cavalry Archers, weakening up some others. And that was perfect. Those 2 Mangonel shots were really enough to take it away. I don't know why Mr. Yo dived in so deep there. And here, I think... Oh, would I take that? That's a close one. It's hard to tell. So the Knights have a good surround of the Cavalry Archers. However, they're on top of the hill. I think this is a great fight for Vivi, actually. If you ever fight Knights right on top of Cavalry Archers, why did Mr. Yo do this? Why did he trap his Cavalry Archers in there? He's going to lose all of them, basically. Now, military count, 5 ahead from Vivi. Castle coming up from Yo, though. That's a nice position on that castle. But basically, Mr. Yo losing a lot of his advantage right there. Having to switch into pikemen now. And now, Vivi, only behind by 5 villagers, has 3 relics in the bank, though. And military count, 10 ahead. Now 5 ahead, as they're losing some. 5 ahead from Vivi, going full Knights. That was a great fight from Vivi. Never fight Knights straight up. Always have to hit and run with Cavalry Archers. And he was doing so good at that until he ran in. Ran in, tried to take out those Mangonels, then took a terrible fight here. Mr. Yo, however, advancing to the Imperial Age. Might have another castle on the way. Vivi's got the gold. He doesn't have the food. He's got a lot of farms, though. What he needs to do is discontinue night production just for a minute here. I would cancel every single night. And should be up to the next stage fairly shortly. Get out a castle of your own. Probably not in the front, though, because you have the castle here. And is Mr. Yo going to go full halberdier? I wonder. Or full cavalry archers. Going to make more pikemen. That's not that many, though. It's going to take a while to go halberdier with 1 barracks. 2 barracks going to be added. This economy's not very well set up for halberdier, though. Not a lot of food. Way too much gold and wood. It's very well set up for cavalry archers. And probably you should want to continue cavalry archer production with these kinds of resources. Maybe it wasn't the plan, but you always have to play with the resources that you're given. And this could be a potentially very bad part of the game for Mr. Yo as he's making this transition. As he's not making any cavalry archers anymore, not making very much military at all. And now these knights are just going to push that advantage. And could potentially get a very good raid. I wouldn't fight the pikemen right now. Again, no upgrades quite yet. Mr. Yo, still no archery rages coming out. These are very smart walls from Vivi. Want to prevent the raiding in the later game. And boy, what an excellent game we have for our first game in this best of 5. The Legacy of the Huns semifinals matchup. What an excellent game. Archery range being added from Vivi. Now what counters cavalry archers and pikemen? Skirmishers counter both. And perhaps we'll see that from him. Perhaps we'll see cavalry archers too. That monk's a dead monk. Oh well. There's the Imperial Age. Not going to be a big deal here, though. And that's an okay fight to take against the pikemen. You're heavily outnumbering them. This will be relic number 4 from Vivi. Able to just sneak that one away. That'll bode well for the late game. And is Mr. Yo going Tarkans? It's hard to tell. He's doing a little bit of everything. He's got 6 Tarkans out. I don't see any more. No more stables, of course. One thing in Age of Empires you never want to do, before you have a fully set up economy, is a little bit of everything. Castle getting denied! That would have been epic. Walls are up. The villagers will have to go around the long way. Oh, it's a shame that wasn't built. That's a big waste. That's 400 stone wasted right there. And all the villagers that died. So villager numbers even. Military numbers just about even. Cavalier and Elite Tarkin coming in. Gonna go full stables. Probably gonna research the Marauders tech right after Elite Tarkin. And man, this, if you wanted to go one unit against Tarkans, it's either the Halberdier or the Knight. And I'm really liking the army composition from Vivi. One big downside though, Vivi's running low on gold. He's not able to take this gold. Knights cost a lot of gold compared to the cavalry archers. That's an okay fight to take. And let's see if there's any vulnerable spots the raid. Can absolutely decimate this part of the map. And I think that should be the goal. And right now just want to mass enough cavalry in the back of his base to eventually deal with this. Won't need too many. Need about maybe 10, 12 knights, right, to take care of that. Those cavalry archers don't have the bracer upgrade, I believe. And just go out. Just take out that town center. Go to town, man. Here, this is not a huge deal. Should have enough Cavalier pretty soon. This, however, is a big deal. These Tarkans can eventually take down a town center. Just really pump Vivi. Use the market as much as possible. You're going to be doing some good eco damage here. Just have to not take enough damage at home. Halberdier finally coming in. But we saw Mr. Yo 2 or 3 fights losing a lot of pikemen before they were upgraded. Gotta garrison that town center. And somehow that castle did get up. These walls were not actually completed until very late. And big deal though, Mr. Yo has control of a lot of that gold. Villager numbers, however, going to go in favor of Vivi by about 10. And we'll have to back out as the Halberdier gets upgraded. And he needs to come home with all of these Cavalier and defend himself here. First castle coming up for Vivi. Would have been nice to see a castle earlier, especially on this hill. Would have helped so much. And castle going to get denied. This is looking actually really bad for Vivi now. As he's losing his town centers, if he loses a lot of villagers here, it could be a good game. Both players have been losing a lot of villagers. Vivi's just going to go down to about the same number as Mr. Yo in a second here. And the Tarkin's showing really how effective of raiders they could be. In the back of the base. Going to repair the town center. 23 HP left. Okay, it's down. It's down. And Mr. Yo just going to rebuild his town center right exactly where it was. Here's those knights that came back. They should be able to fight against the Tarkins. Let's check the difference in the upgrades. Cavaliers have 1 extra attack. Although these Tarkins have Blast Furnace, so they actually have 1 more attack at the moment. 1 extra melee armor. For the Cavalier, tons more HP for the Tarkin. The Tarkin's very strong. Wow. And keep in mind, I think the Tarkin costs less than the Cavalier. So it appears the Tarkins are a very strong option for the Huns now. They're easier to produce out of the stables. That was the main problem with them before. And then in theory, Cavaliers should be just as strong, if not stronger, but it hasn't really worked out that way. Paladins for sure would be a lot stronger, but can't have that amount of gold on a 1 versus 1 Arabia map. This gold is really important for Vivi to take back. You could even try to go for the castle with just Cavalier at this stage. And he needs to make some sort of push here. He needs to defend from these raids. The walls were a great idea until this castle got up. As you can see, the castle's working on the walls. One thing you don't want to be as a Huns player is you don't want to be defensive all the time. I think what Vivi needs to do, well, first he needs to defend against this. Oh my god, the Tarkin's taking down the town center so fast. Before the Cavalier can even get over here. 110 villagers right now. Let's see how many these Tarkins can take out. It might be a little bit trapped here as the Cavalier are going to cut them off. Hopefully they can attack. Attack? Yeah, there you go. Wow, that's going to be a big loss for Mr. Yo. Lose a lot of HP on those Tarkins. But I think the Tarkin is faster as well. A little bit of a crisis avoided for Mr. Yo. Certainly we need to see the trebuchet battle happen. And one thing that Vivi really needs to do, he needs to add some sort of trash into his army. Halberdier would be the obvious, most logical choice. But I wonder how much resources Vivi really has for that. He's got no resources in the bank at all. No resources, no wood to make a barracks, no food to make Halberdier. And without that transition, I think Vivi's not going to be able to hold here. The Halberdier are going to make it much harder on the Cavalier. Going to save Mr. Yo a lot of gold in the long term. And he's forced to take this fight against the Halberdier. They're going to lose a lot of Cavalier. And he still needs enough Cavalier to fight off these Tarkins. Tarkin's going to take down the castle in an instant. Yeah, it looks like sudden death with the Tarkins under the TC, you're right. Nothing going on over here. And why would Mr. Yo stand and fight this? He could just make some more Halberdier and eventually run them into the Cavalier later on. All the advantages for Mr. Yo right now. Vivi needs to transition to something, needs to prevent these raids. He thought that Mr. Yo was going back to the castle, but nope, just gonna go for another town center. Can take that out, run away. And down that goes. I don't know if that was worth it, though. And sure, that's a very strong army for Vivi, but how are you going to replace it without gold? It's a total of 800 gold left on this mine. Remember, he's got the 4 relics. This could be another castle from Mr. Yo, solidifying this gold once again, taking away Vivi's gold over here. Mr. Yo knows exactly the situation he's in. He knows just gotta cut off Vivi's gold a little bit longer. Defend with some Halberdier. Vivi's gonna say GG right there. Great game. So in this game, we really saw the big differences between Knights versus Cavalry Archer play. We saw Mr. Yo use the Tarkin to great effect. We saw Vivi go for a crazy forward, and Mr. Yo defend it excellently. Really, that big difference between that Cavalry and Cavalry Archer Castle Age, I think that was the big difference in this game. Great play for Mr. Yo. It's going to be 1-0 for Mr. Yo, and Vivi will look to get it back in the next round. Take care. Take a look at the achievements real quick. Tons of units killed for a short game. Wow. Lots of relic gold for Vivi. How he was able to keep this going. And here's your timeline. Big jump for Vivi right here. After the feudal age. And then a big dip again. That's an excellent game. Alright, they're going to start the next game right away. That's awesome. Thanks everyone for joining me if you're on Voobly Official. My name is Nobody. I've been here for quite a while. Up to 50 viewers today. This is a best of 5. These should be excellent matches, all Huns. But as we saw today, all Huns doesn't mean it has to be boring. We saw a lot of variation as far as the unit choices, variation in strategies. And I expect to continue to see that throughout the series. Alright, so they should be starting very shortly. And I'm going to put a little timer here. I'm going to put 3 minutes. That's just an estimate. And I'm going to get up and stretch for a second. Here we go. I'm back, and we'll be starting right now. Hello everyone and welcome to the second game in this semi-final best of 5 matchup between Mr. Yo and Vivi. First game, excellent game. Saw a lot of different unit compositions. We saw the Tarkin in action and we saw a lot of great aggressive strategies in the early game. One thing we did not see a classic scout rush. These are not classic Age of Conquerors Huns wars. We are definitely in the Willow Kingdoms, and I am loving it. We have over in the bottom left of that map, Mr. Yo, or Sai Yo. And in the top, we have Vivi. Score currently 1-0. Vivi's got to make up another game here. Will he go for the crazy aggressive playstyle that we saw last game? We will have to see. Last game, we saw players going forward with their scout, trying to steal their opponent's resources. We'll have to see if we see that this game. What we can see right now is we can see Mr. Yo's map. How does it look? On the left side, he's got a gold and a stone. Forward gold over here, going to be hard to defend against that. It is possible to wall here with a little bit of resources and a little bit of luck avoiding that wolf. Mr. Yo's going to choose a forward wood line, something you never want to do with aggressive civilizations like this and aggressive players like Vivi. Right side of the map, very open. Mr. Yo is going to have a hard time defending against this, defending against any aggression from Vivi if it goes the wrong way. Might want to be able to mine that stone a little bit later on. I can just imagine Vivi coming forward with 4 villagers, placing a single tower right here, taking away gold, taking away wood, taking away stone. Be a hard game if that happens. Vivi's map. Woodline to the left, berries, safe-ish position. Gold, stone, gold. Could wall here, could wall here. Have a nice gold. Could wall here. Play a nice defensive map, wall here. But we know Vivi's not going to do that. That's not the kind of player Vivi is, walling. No, he's probably going to go forward on this map. But we'll have to see. If he wanted to stay home, he could do it. I think. Both players luring in their boar right away. No crazy shenanigans so far. Mr. Yo is actually going to lose a lot of HP on this villager, but he should be okay. Lured in a deer, so that's going to be a nice boost to his economy. And as long as he garrisons that villager, should be safe. There we go. A nice boost to his economy with that extra deer. I do not see extra deer for Vivi. Vivi should have a little bit better scouting, however. 2 extra deer for Mr. Yo. And this is always a little bit of a trade-off. You lose a lot of scouting information, a lot of scouting time. Although this would be a big boost to your economy, particularly if you want to go scouts. I do like luring deer a little bit extra if you go scouts. You really need that food. You can scout on a little bit later on in the game. With scout cavalry, of course. And the scout rush. So this is Mr. Yo's scouting. He sees all the important stuff in his map. The only thing he does not see at this stage is Vivi's base. And let's go over to Vivi. Vivi scouted a lot of his map. Even more than Mr. Yo. Might be still looking for his sheep, actually. Got one here. He might be missing 2. And there they are. They're really far out. And luckily, with this extra scouting time, he's not lured the deer. He's able to find his sheep. A little bit unfortunate they were a little so far away from him. Gonna find them, though. And have a standard start, most likely. Now, Mr. Yo, maybe if he was scouting his opponent's base, not luring deer, might have been able to find those sheep. Who knows? Age of Empires is always a game about trade-offs. 301 for Vivi. This is classic Scouts build. And it looks like Vivi has been 4 on wood this entire time, which could be a more aggressive build. Who is in the other semifinals? I'm going to give a spoiler right here, so mute if you'd wouldn't like to hear it. The other semifinals have been played. It's been MBL and the Viper. MBL has moved on to the finals. Viper will go on to the bronze round match. And we have a little bit of pause here as the players, who knows, might be going out for a smoke, might be talking. Anything could be happening right now. And there we go, we're back resumed. I find it curious that Vivi chose to place his farms in the back here with his 2 weak villagers. I find it curious only for the only reason that Mr. Yo, not the more aggressive player, you place your farms in the back typically You want to avoid them getting picked off by early aggression or a tower or something along those lines. They're actually less efficient in the back. And there's Loom for Mr. Yo. Yo. Going up on 20 pop. That's, wow. Classic Hun Scout build is 21 population up. 20 pop up. That's impressive. Sometimes hard to sustain scouts off that number. I know it is for me. However, Mr. Yo did lure in extra deer, and I'm going to chalk it up to that.
Start the game already!
Little question mark for the pauses, I believe. And Mr. Yo, very classic Huns build.
Yes.
Now, how about Vivi? Is he going to play a classic game here? Has he learned his lesson from last game? Vivi's certainly going up a lot later. 22 population, also classic Scout Rush build. And he's got a very nice, he's got a very well-saturated wood line, let's put it that way. Not be able to hit from towers. And another pause in this game. A little bit choppy start to begin with. Now, one of the differences between a 20 population and a 22 population scout build, if you're going up on 22 population, you'll have more resources to play with, although you'll probably be down a scout for the entirety of the game, most likely. So one thing you could do, you could wall, and forget what I'm saying, because Vivi's going forward, oh boy! Oh boy. Oh, this is even more risky than before. So 22 population is a good population to go forward with. However, Mr. Yo is up in a very fast time, up on 20 population. That's a lot faster than probably Vivi realized. Again, 21 population is the average uptime. And by the time this barracks goes up, Mr. Yo might have an additional scout out already. This could be problematic. I remember doing a forward myself. I did a 22 pop forward against a 20 population Indians player. It did not go well at all. By the time I got my tower up, he already had 3 scouts out. That might be the situation that Vivi is going to be in. However, woodline very safe. Can even wall it here. Won't have to worry about gold for a while, of course. And there we go. Barracks is going to be up as he reaches feudal age. Here's the big thing. Has Mr. Yo seen this? Probably not. No. Does Mr. Yo suspect this? Probably not. Doesn't see any villagers on stone. Has not seen the barracks, though. And I would suspect Mr. Yo knows what's going on based off of that. He's got the spearman on the left side. Oh, no, 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 no! Lost a little HP there, but might lose a little more. No, okay. So Mr. Yo has not technically seen it here. Kind of distracting that spearman a little bit from the left side. As those villagers come forward. Look at that expert play there. Distracted the spearman, maybe. And is now going to place the tower in a great position. If this tower gets up with a few walls around it, this is going to be epic. Villager has seen it, though. And these walls got to come up. If Mr. Yo's not going to rush this down. Going to build a tower. This is just a panic tower. Just place the tower anywhere. This is an excellent tower that takes away the main goal. Takes away a lot of wood. Will take away some farm space as well. Man, Vivi's got some... Wow. That was a really risky play. And please, please just put 2 palisades around it. What are you doing? Why not put 2 palisades around that tower? I don't understand that at all. Take some stone there. That's a good play. But why not place 2 palisades there? I don't understand. It's 6 wood and it can protect your tower. Scouts can move around. Realize that there's really nothing to hit here. They could run in under the town center. Once there's 4 or 5 of them. And now these skirmishers could even take Mr. Yo off of berries. He's hurting for food. How is he going to be able to make scouts anymore? He can't. Lost a lot of his wood line. Gonna lose his berries now. Vivi's gearing up for another tower, too. Another tower would be devastating. Tower could go right here. That would be worst case scenario for Mr. Yo. Might even be a GG for Mr. Yo if Mr. Yo doesn't have any wood or food to work with. Vivi's got one spearman back at home just in case. It'll help protect these farmers too. And there's that tower. It's going to come on the bottom side. Could take away 3 farms and the berries. 4 villagers versus 5 villagers right now. Alright, 6 villagers now on there. That tower will get up, however. And Mr. Yo is going to go and batter it down. Here we go. Villagers will pop in. Skirmishers could be behind, maybe attack this villager. I don't know. And that tower's going to go down. It's not going to be a great success for him. At the very least, though, will prevent Mr. Yo from taking food from these 2 farms and these 2 berries, which is critical right now. He cannot make any scouts at the moment. And that villager, wow. Villager going to take on 2 scouts by itself. And that was a poor decision on that tower, in my opinion. I think the tower should have been within range of the other tower. Should have been right here. And could creep forward. So these units going to get around. We should have seen some walls here from Mr. Yo. That was a mistake by him. Mr. Yo going to go put 2 archer ranges. Remember, though, he doesn't have a lot of resources to work with. Vivi really in the driver's seat. Could take an early victory in this game. And if you're Vivi, just get 1 more tower up right there. That would be GG. Or not. Vivi's, Mr. Yo's gone down to the bottom wood line. That's a great decision from him. These skirmishers could still harass these villagers, though. Where's Mr. Yo going? Is he going to go for a forward of his own? What could this be for? A blacksmith? What are you planning? Here we go. They're going to go forward. Maybe go for this gold? It could get caught out potentially here, though. What about these villagers on the left? Gonna build just a safe tower just to make sure you have the stone. That's it. But again, would like to see the tower right there. Mr. Yo's gonna go forward now. This is another risky play. There's 3 wolves here. 3 wolves? Are you kidding me? 2 of them gonna go after this villager. This villager's in danger if she doesn't get any help. Mr. Yo gonna send the scouts back. This could be an excellent tower for Mr. Yo. Going to give Vivi a taste of his own medicine, apparently. And this game's very close. This game's pretty critical for both players. 1 tower either way could really make or break this. That's a great tower. Going to take away most of this wood line. Vivi's very likely not going to see it. Vivi should have enough stone, though, for a counter tower pretty soon. This is really important. 50 stone. Should have enough stone very shortly. Mr. Yo going to go forward. Probably see some of these. The military counts are pretty similar. Probably won't be able to do any great damage. Vivi, once again, transitioning to scouts. Adding a blacksmith. And now can see this tower from Mr. Yo. The next one's going to be really deadly. As you can see, not doing too much damage here. Here comes those 4 scouts, though. The scouts plus the skirmishers would be able to do a lot. Chain barding armor, scale barding armor coming in. So these scouts will be really beefy. Spearman's going to go down. This tower is in risk of being lost. I don't think it's within range of this tower, actually. Spearman will be lost instantaneously. Tower war coming up in the north. Looks like Vivi should be able to defend. Might lose a single villager here, though. And that should be enough to defend for the time being. Most of these scouts on stand ground, unfortunately. And there we go. Mr. Yo's going to have safe access to his gold. Definite advantage for Vivi. This tower creep's not going to go anywhere else. And the resources have to be really in favor of Vivi, I would think. He's got a lot of farms up already. He's got good upgrades on his scouts. Going to add a second stable, actually. What this tells me is Vivi is committed to the feudal age. He believes he can take over this position, most likely. Can take over this position. He's still got these villagers taking a lot of stone on the left, adding archers on the left. These villagers could potentially come around and help assist in this fight. Add a tower here, add a tower here. I think Vivi's going to make a play for this little area here. Glitching being researched. That's a great upgrade for Mr. Yo. And actually, Vivi's going to send these villagers instead of the ones on the left, like I predicted. And he's going to send these villagers. He's going to go... Yeah, there you go. He's going to make the tower right there. This tower's powerless against this one. And this is the critical part in the game. If Vivi can get this tower up, might be GG. Want to avoid this fight till then. Get all your units there in the same place. We have 2 stables pumping away. These scouts will be able to prevent this tower, even pick off a villager. And Vivi just has to be a little bit patient here. He's got more production, has more resources to play with. Just build up a little bit more and then go all in on that tower. And is Vivi's actually going to give up on this. A little surprised at that. These 2 stables versus 1 stable. Yeah, I'm very surprised he gave up on that tower, actually. Second tower going to come up from Mr. Yo. Remember, this is a small gold. This gold will eventually run out. And now these scouts very well upgraded. They have bloodlines as well. And they're going to dive in. Only 1 spearman here. That's not a big deal. Might not even be able to take out 1 scout. Mr. Yo's trying to make as many scouts as possible, but look at these upgrades. The upgrade difference is huge. Boy, is this game choppy. Welcome to the stream, Fire. Yeah, why is it so choppy? They're both from China. Anyway. Scout's just being annoying. Mr. Yo's trying to defend with Spearmen. Spearmen don't do too well against Bloodline Scouts. So Vivi's just going to try to pick off a few of these Spearmen. He's not really where he wants to be at, though. He's idling 3 farmers. That's not really a big deal. And let's check the resources. I think they're both preparing to go up to the Castle Age. Vivi will be up in just about, maybe a minute or 2. Mr. Yo, very far away. So big advantage for Vivi. He's got the upgrade advantage. He's got a lot more resources in the bank. Should have the technology advantage. Yeah, Mr. Yo researching scale mail. And wheelbarrow coming in from Mr. Yo, so his economy's not in the same place. I didn't mention this, but 7 villager advantage from Vivi. Done quite a bit of damage. And this all started with that really ballsy play here on the left side. It was that very disruptive tower, still here for some reason. Very disruptive tower on the left side, and then switching into scouts. Before Vivi did. I mean, it's hard to say, but when he went up with this second tower right here, really prevented Mr. Yo from taking his berries, taking his farms, and prevented him from making scouts. And that's why Vivi's so ahead in the military count. Not ahead in the military count, but so ahead in this game, really. Castle Age coming in, Forging coming in. This area is well defended. Still no upgrades on these scouts. Mr. Yo is in a lot of trouble. Mr. Yo, 400 food in the bank, 100 gold in the bank. Will eventually have to move off of this gold. And he's got to get up to the next stage very quickly if he wants any sort of chance of being still in this game. Like, over at the top, I'm gonna pick off a villager. Okay, nice. Maybe trying to wall a little bit. And gonna bring back those scouts. Should be enough scouts to defend from Mr. Yo. If you could maybe come over here, re-wall them in, and then finish off these scouts, that would bode well for him later on in the game. And if I was Vivi, I would just try to put the nail in the coffin, build the siege workshop here, go with knights, push in through the front. Vivi gonna lose yet another villager. Villager advantage down to 5 now. Although that should expand again since Mr. Yo just clicked up to the next stage. And with the next stage, there we go. Let's see if this villager is able to close off the wall. I don't think she will be. Yeah, they're gonna get out. So there we go. Maybe husbandry would be a good upgrade just to chase down those scouts right away. They could even turn around if they wanted to right now. So here we go. 3 stable knights coming out from Vivi. Gonna go straight for that gold. 2 towers, not gonna be enough to defend the gold. That's why Mr. Yo has all of his army in this one place. I wonder if we'll see a siege workshop on this left side, actually. We did! We saw a siege workshop on the left side. And Vivi's really gonna push through this one area. So I'm going to try to harass this gold as much as possible. And going to push from the left. Hopefully keep control of this gold. If you can keep control of this gold, the next closest gold to Mr. Yo is out over here, if you don't count this one. And there we go. Look at this military advantage for Mr. Yo. Getting ready to dive right in just a second. Here we go. +2 armor done. Husbandry being done. Iron casting even being done. Mangonel's done.
Yes.
Gonna come over to repair. Or am I missing something? It's a castle! I'm missing a castle! What? What? Man, Vivi's in a great position right now. Gonna lose all of his scouts to try to take out this Mangonel. And the Mangonel's gonna be alive! Oh no! This is horrible for Mr. Yo. Wow. How in the world was Mr. Yo going to get gold in the near future? How is that going to happen? Pikeman, crossbow, bodkin arrow being researched. It's not going to be this gold. It's probably not going to be this gold. I mean, could it be this gold? No. This one? Maybe. I mean, if you're Mr. Yo, you might want to build a town center over here if you could. Or you're going to have to play the rest of this game without gold. And that looks like what he's going to do. Tons of pikemen on the field. As well, this castle helps defend this tower also. Fletching would be a good upgrade. Maybe just for the tower. That's an okay fight. I would take that. And these knights are really well upgraded against these crossbows. No thumb ring, of course. And Mr. Yo's going to get cleaned up right here. Spectator saying GG, I think. I think it's pretty GG. The positional advantage is so huge. The military advantage is huge. The economy advantage is huge for Vivi. He's got every conceivable advantage in this game. And I just don't know how Mr. Yo is going to be able to take this back. I don't know what's going through his mind right now. Vivi gonna add another stable. Gonna lose a knight to a Mangonel to a knight though. Didn't see that coming. And now Vivi making some Tarkans. Could make P-Tarts for all he cares. We're gonna make some Tarkans now. They could potentially get under this town center and take it out. Legacy of the Huns. Where's MBL versus the Viper? MBL and the Viper already played. Those games are over, my friend. Knight's gonna go raid under these towers. They don't care about a little bit arrow fire. And I think Vivi just gotta give one more strong push into this area. That's all he's gotta do. All he has to do to seal up this game, tie up the scores to 1-1. Show that, yes, his crazy aggressive playstyle can pay off against top level competition. That's 3 tops. How can you change colors of the players when you're spectators? You can change it using team colors. It'll turn it to blue and red. That's the only one you could do. Team colors are in the options menu on the top right. Shio just getting his bow saw right now. Investing into squires. Gonna make his pikemen beefy and strong, but not really, because they're just pikemen. Even Tarkin's doing a little bit of raiding now. So right now, villager lead is not huge. Not huge, but 500 gold left on this gold mine. 2 town centers extra from Mr. Yo. Should catch up in the villager department. I don't think in a Huns war you can go pure trash. Just knights and cavalry archers are just so much stronger. It's really the biggest difference in this game. It's just the army composition and the resources available to players. That's the one big difference in this game. And boy, does that give Vivi a massive advantage, in my opinion. Vivi added a second town center. Gonna fall. Villager lead should fall behind it. That is, if he could defend from this raiding, which he obviously can't. It's gonna lose so many villagers on this wood line. Down to 55 villagers from Mr. Yo. He should be pulling ahead with 3 town centers, but no. Not with these raids. And now behind by 22 villagers. This town center will very likely go down. What, are you going to take out the Megano with some pikemen? 2 relics from Vivi? Maybe making his own cavalry archers. He sees a lot of pikemen on the field. It makes sense to transition. Why don't you get your upgrades first? Those towers should be able to defend. 2 Tarkins coming in. Remember, the Tarkins have 1 additional Pierce Armor from Age of Conquerors. 3 Pierce Armor is huge. 3 base in the Castle Age. And they should be able to defend from the Cavalry Archers. And what is the strategy here for Mr. Yo? One of the spectators saying elite skirmisher. Alright, let's go to Mr. Yo's resources. He's got a castle. That's one thing he has. He's ran out of his gold. He's got to make a move right now. Place a defensive castle here. Gonna build a siege workshop. That makes more sense. Place a castle.
No.
Oh boy. Just need to forward 10 villagers. And place a castle here. Yeah. Well, there's a town center there now, so that's not going to work. Place a castle here. And just go for it, man. Just go for it. Bring all of your military. Go for that castle. You need that gold. You need to make a play. That's a lot of cavalry archers. Military count's very similar right now. A little luck. Maybe Mr. Yo can pull this off. He's seen the town center now. Gonna place a castle there. It's on the bottom of the hill. Doesn't really cover the gold. I would get it closer. Even closer. Oh, the knights were in great position. GG. That's it right there. So Vivi, with his crazy aggressive playstyle, taking the second game. Man, able to do so much damage to Mr. Yo. Not by killing the villagers, but taking Mr. Yo off of resources. Primarily food and quite a bit of wood. Eventually starving his opponent out of gold. And what an excellent game from Vivi. I love seeing forwards. They're one of the most entertaining things to watch in Age of Empires 2, in my opinion. And I'm glad this one worked out in his favor. So great game. We'll move on to the third game in this best of 5 and see who will be able to take it from there. Take a look at the achievements. Big KD win for Vivi. No surprise there. Big economy lead from Vivi. I think the food is the biggest one there. And let's see if we see any big changes here. Not really, but you can see Vivi. That's a big score difference right there. And then maintaining that throughout. Alright, Vivi's going to do something with his connection. And I think he should be back. I'm gonna put another timer on. We'll do 5 minutes as an estimation. And boy, what an excellent 2 games we've seen so far. I love these settings. I love Arabia in general. The Huns, though, I'm surprised they're as entertaining as they are right now. I missed a little bit of this. I think they're even more entertaining than AOC, to be honest. The Willalow Kingdom's Huns. We're seeing Tarkans. You know, we're seeing not as much of the Cavalry Archer. We're still seeing them. Of course, it's entertaining to see 2 of the top level players and Vivi with this crazy play style playing these games. Excellent match. Both players are in the lobby. They'll be starting very shortly. I'm going to take another few minute break and we'll be in for the next game very shortly. Stay with me. And I'm back. Here we go. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the third game in this best-of-5 matchup. Score is currently 1-1. We're deadlocked, and it's Mr. Yo versus Vivi in the semifinals of the Legacy of the Huns tournament. This is going to be a very aggressive map, as I can see it from the mini-map here. Both players very close together. We'll introduce the players once again. We have Sai, Yo playing in red. And over on the right side, we have Vivi playing as the Huns. Both games, we've seen Vivi go forward with a crazy aggressive playstyle. We've seen him in the first game, you know, that didn't work out too well with that playstyle. The second game took a big risk, and it paid off heavily, able to win the game by the early Castle Age. And we'll see what he goes for this game. Such an interesting player. I hope you guys at home are really getting an appreciation for this. Let me change the scores. I forgot to change it on top. There we go. Thanks for reminding me in the chat. Sorry about that. Sorry. There we go. All better. Thank you. All right, I just changed the scores above in the chat. Thanks to the chat. And this is going to be a crazy aggressive game, I could already tell. And the reason I could tell is because of the rush distance. These players are very close together on such an open map like Arabia. Both players already placing up their lumber lines. And since players are close together, that means villagers can travel across the map faster. Military can get to your opponent faster. It's easier to scout everything. And resources could potentially be very forward as well. So this should be a very entertaining game. I love aggressive games. That's why Arabia is my favorite map. And let's take a look at these players' resources. Vivi, all 3 golds within 1 screen. You never want to have that. This gold luckily is close to the town center. But imagine a single tower coming here from Mr. Yo. And Vivi's going to lure in some deer as well. Stones forwards, gold forward. Woodline is very safe. That's the one good thing about his map. He's got a stone that's kind of in the back. But it's going to be... I mean, you could wall here. And could wall in the back. That's okay. But how are you going to be able to defend this part of the map? And there you go. Mr. Yo going to call a read right there. His gold is in a terrible position. That's why I don't know what even happened here. Alright, there we go. We can start the game and have the correct score on top now. So they're going to restart the game. Should be a minute or 2. And they'll be starting very shortly. If you're new to the channel, we have updated below the stream, and I can just read that to you. It says, "Welcome to Voobly Official. We're dedicated to help streamers and viewers connect. And we're a group of AoE 2 casters that are dedicated to providing high quality and consistent streams to our viewers. A passion for building a thriving community where everyone can have an enjoyable experience is what keeps us going. Thanks for being a part of what makes AoE 2 great." We have our 5 casters that are casting on this channel right now. Maybe more in the future. And if you're interested in streaming up with us, we have a little application there on the bottom. And we're all about the community on this channel. So please, if you have any questions, please ask in the chat. I am paying attention to the chat very closely. I like to answer questions from the chat in the game. We have 1 minute until the game starts. And here we go. Welcome to Game 3 in this best of 5 semifinal matchup in the Legacy of the Huns tournament. This is going to be Mr. Yo playing in the left, in the red as the Huns, and in the right we have Vivi playing as the Huns, of course, but he's in blue. And this map is going to be crazy because once again, like the map of previous, we had one restart. It's a crazy aggressive map. This is the dry Arabia for once. There are a little bit of ponds here as well. Not a dry Arabia, but it's like a desert-like Arabia. And this is going to be a crazy aggressive game because the rush distance between these players is so small. The previous two games, we saw Vivi fail with this forward in the first game, and that bit him later on in the game, and then succeed very well in the second game and was able to win the game by early Castle Age because of that. So we'll see if Vivi's going to do his crazy playstyle again. It's such a joy to watch him play and his playstyle. And Mr. Yo have already established a great at 1 versus 1 player. Both these players used to play with the China for the Nations Cup. And Vivi going to run straight into the town center. Going to lose half the HP on his scout, if not more. Mr. Yo is going to take advantage of this opportunity to get an extra hit there. And what in the world are you doing, Vivi? What in the world? What are you doing? Oh, he's going to call a re, probably. That's got to be what happens. It's got to be that. I was about to say. But if this is not a re, this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous if it's not a re. Otherwise, this makes no sense at all. Why would you try to steal a boar on half HP to your opponent's town center? What's my ELO? My ELO is 1700 on Vubli. It's been that way for a while, and I haven't improved or gotten worse, really.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Re. As he built a palisade gate right there. We're going to see another re. All the re's are used now, I think. And let me put that timer, put back the music. And yeah, before I got into a little bit about me, let's check if this game's going first. Okay, they're in the lobby. They'll start again really soon. So I watched this game for about 2 years, maybe 3 years, on Twitch and on YouTube in 2010 to 2012. 2012, the HD edition came out, and I was able to play for the next 2 years. Practiced a lot on HD edition. Already had a good game knowledge of the game from watching so many recorded games, so I kind of knew what to do. And then by 2014, I was 2K on HD, about 1600 on Vubli, 16 to 1700. And then about 2015, started streaming on Vubli Official. Was there for about 6 months before the team at that point disbanded. Had my own channel for 2 years. Still have my own channel. It's twitch.tv/nobody41, I think. It's down below in the chat, of course. And then started streaming here again 3 months ago. And we'll be here for quite a while. Apply to med school. Going to med school next year, hopefully. And I've got some time until then. So hopefully you'll be seeing me more often. Stream starting or ending, it's 1-1 right now. We're right in the middle of it. And here we go. Current rating 1700. Hello and welcome to Game 3 in this best of 5 semifinals matchup in the Legacy of the Huns tournament. This is between Mr. Yo on the bottom in red, as the Huns of course, and Vivi in blue at the top towards the top of the map. So this is going to be a desert-like Arabia. A few pawns here, but not too many. Oh, that's a nasty one. And yeah, these maps look really different compared to the last two. We saw 2 restarts previously, and those were very aggressive, very small maps. The players were close together. These players are a little bit farther apart. And boy, do these maps look very different. Looking at Vivi's map, he's got, what, 3, 4 pawns next to him? Which really disrupt these woodlines on the right, make it a little bit more difficult to wall. So let's look at the walls. Wall, wall. It's not that bad to wall, actually. Yeah, it's kind of hard to wall here. But this is very unique map. Gold in the back, gold in the forward position. You can look at Mr. Yo's map. Huge wood line in the back. It's a thick wood. And he's got his stone is blocked in by trees, unfortunately. So that's basically inaccessible. He's got 4 deer in the back. Stone here. Main gold, very exposed. So for both players, looks like the gold is kind of exposed. We'll see if Vivi wants to play more defensive with this. Probably not, knowing him. And wall this up as best he can. And if not, how will Mr. Yo defend his gold? Will he potentially wall in through this way? We'll have to see. It's great seeing such players with such different playstyles, though. In the first 2 games, we saw Vivi go forward. First game, fail with his forward and lost in Imperial Age. Second game, he succeeded with his forward and won it by early Castle Age. We'll see if he does that again. 3 villagers on wood only this time. I think the previous 2 games we saw 4 villagers on wood. And there we go. There's a 4th villager right now. So that looks about the same. And Mr. Yo, always 3 villagers on wood. I believe preparing for a scout build. Mr. Yo is a lot more traditional player, as I've seen. And he's previously been known as like the best 1 versus 1 Chinese player in the game. Both these players played in Psy Nations Cup. Both Nations Cups for 2 years on the same team, so they know each other very well. And currently they're playing for different teams in ECL. I believe Frantic for Vivi and Mr. Yo playing for Psy. Voobly has always been a collection of different streamers. It's never been about 1 streamer. And we currently have about 5 streamers on this channel currently, Strix. If you'd like to watch Katsuni, you can watch Katsuni on his own stream, and you can do the same thing for Mem as well. As I believe he's streaming now. And both are still active there. Mr. Yo going to lure in some deer. Vivi could be a little annoying here, or take some arrow fire. Yeah, he took too many. There you go. Going to be down to 39 HP now. And that's going to be a nice food boost for Mr. Yo. Wait, what is Mr. Yo going to do? Going to kill that deer, run back. And there we go. This could be a little bit of a trap here. If you place a palisade gate right there, or a wall. No, Vivi's going to get out of there fine. Could be a trap here. I know the Viper would try to trap it. Oh, 2 palisades, come on! Oh, that's a missed opportunity. Those are little things that you see later on. These games have been a little bit choppy, surprisingly. We have another pause in this game. Vivi surprisingly looks like he's actually going to wall this. What? Vivi doesn't wall things. Unless it's an opponent. I'm going to go with the barracks right away. So we haven't seen Vivi go with militia yet in this series. So this is something new. He does have these deer if he wants to lure them. This is so nice, though. Make a barracks, make some militia, wall up at home. Take the gold, it's right there. Have a nice defensive playstyle, have a nice defensive game. And play it from there. We could take a look at the scouting while it's paused here, I think. Can we? Yeah, there we go. So Vivi finding all of his resources. Of course, ran past the town center there, so lost a little HP there. Sees his opponent's main gold, that's the big one. The gold is very far forward. Sees the back wood lines. This is the main target for Vivi. If he could find the other golds as well, that would certainly give him a lot more information. So that's probably what he's looking for now. Has he seen this one? Has not seen that one. That's kind of important. If he decided to attack this gold, could probably attack this gold just right next to each other. That's kind of an important one. You kind of want to scout that if you're Vivi. Maybe he'll see it later on. But you do want to see that second gold. I don't think he saw the stone, the bug stone either. And let's check Vivi, Mr. Yo scouting, my bad. Mr. Yo has not seen his bug stone either. He's seen both golds, his other stone. And for now, since he's going to go for a scout build, 20 population up. This is the second time we've seen Mr. Yo go up on 20 population with the aid of a deer.
Yes.
Or two. And we'll have to see if he's able to defend from these militia early on. These wood lines are on hills. That means they are harder to wall. It's going to be hard to wall like this. But they definitely will be worth it. And here's those militia. 2 militia right there. Vivi might have a hard time defending against the scout, though, as he's already 2 hits behind. Going to bring in this villager. Going to take that hill. And there we go. This is very annoying, though. Going to take another additional hit. And just slowly losing more and more HP on that scout. I don't think Mr. Yo can't be expecting this, though. At the way that Vivi's played his most recent 2 games. Can't be expecting 3 militia. And a standard Dark Age rush. No way. And boy, if Vivi gets lucky here, sees the stable, able to prevent the stable from going up, how much damage would that do to Mr. Yo? Here we go. Advance the next stage. Stable going to go up. The militia are not going to see it. But they should be able to get to the wood regardless. They should be able to do some good damage here. You go to the left side of the wood. Only 2 villagers here. Going to be very difficult to wall that. Mr. Yo still has no idea anything's going to go on. Let's go to his point of view. Oh, can see it now. Line of sight of the lumber camp. Vivi's got to be fast. No walls coming up. No reaction. Mr. Yo might even be able to pick off a villager here. What you want to do there, you want to have the militia go in front of the villager. Try to block it. And walls do not get up. Not a big deal, though. That militia might get a little bit too low. 2 more hits. Probably not going to get the second hit. Might even lose that militia. Yeah, going to lose it. That was not worth it to lose it. But this is some good economy damage here. We have 6, 7 idle villagers here. Half of this lumber camp is inaccessible now. After seeing this early aggression, seeing that Vivi is not up, Mr. Yo probably knows this, might be watching the score. Maybe just has a feeling here. But has the feeling that Vivi is actually going for a fast castle build, which he is. He's up on 30 population, 28 villagers. And is going to go forward with 2 villagers, probably for a tower. As he will have the map control. 3 militia did get cleaned up. They kind of did their job. And this is wasting time a little bit for Mr. Yo. Don't want to waste too much time. The villagers could already be here. That villager, unfortunately, is going to get caught out by the wolf. Losing a little bit more time. Time is of the essence when you're trying to prevent a fast castle. And the single tower here could be devastating. Could potentially prevent the fast castle build. But by the time that goes up, I think Vivi will already be in the next stage. Vivi's even preparing with an outpost. So this is just really taking too long for Mr. Yo. If Mr. Yo didn't run into that wolf, didn't idle for that long, maybe sent his villagers a little bit faster, might have been able to get that tower up. I don't think this will go up. Vivi's going to be in the feudal age, should be able to build a counter tower. And the question now is, does Vivi have enough resources for a fast castle? He does. He definitely does. And a counter tower. So the wood's good, 300 wood in the bank. Gold is good, 200. Food is very close. We're going to see an archer range and a blacksmith. This is a lot of trouble for Mr. Yo. The best thing Mr. Yo can do is delete that tower, build it further in the back. Does he have enough stone? Yeah, he's got enough stone. Okay. In fact, is he mining stone? It's actually mining stone. This is a big, big investment for Mr. Yo. Not only does he not have a fast castle build, doesn't have a lot of farms, he's also taking stone. It's going to be quite a while before Mr. Yo can get up to the next age. Going to add an archer range too, in the feudal age. That's 175 wood that could have been spent on farms. He's going to be in a lot of trouble right now, as Vivi is going to be able to pull off this fast castle, go straight into cavalry archer production, actually making archers right now. Interesting choice. This tower will be very effective, though. Eventually, it's late, but we'll be able to take away this much of the wood. Vivi's going to be forced to move down to the bottom. This could be a window of opportunity for Mr. Yo, though. If Mr. Yo can get a few archers over on this right side, should have a military advantage. and can potentially severely limit the wood income for Vivi. Vivi doesn't have wood income. He can't make more military buildings. Can't make more archers, really. Can't make more farms, and you need a lot of farms for those upgrades, such as fletching, bodkin arrow, crossbow. If you can't get bodkin arrow and crossbow, there's really no point in going for the fast castle, unless you want to make the cavalry archers, which I think would have been the better option. There's no way right now Vivi can make those upgrades. As you can see, 150 food in the bank. Fletching's 100 food. Crossbow's 100 food. Bodkin arrow's 200 food. So I think this tower definitely did its job, limiting the wood income and then eventually limiting the food income. And we're going to see double stable cavalry archers from Vivi. Now, the question is, though, I mean, Mr. Yo's in a decent position, but can he defend? How long does he have to defend for? How many towers should Mr. Yo add as well? Perhaps he should add one to the stone, maybe to the wood. The more towers you add, the slower you're going to be up to the next stage. Mr. Yo has a decent food amount of food. He's spending a lot of gold on archers, though, so it'll be a little bit of time. Immediately going to move over to that right side, like we predicted. Was trying to get a tower up. Oh, boy. But he was caught. And I saw Vivi taking stone. He's taken only 20 stone. So maybe he'll be able to build a counter tower. He's very close. Bodkin arrow being researched right away from Vivi. It's a good thing he didn't have to invest into that crossbow upgrade. And fletching being done. Will Vivi have enough army to deny this tower? This villager's on half health already. There's a nice little hill here. Maybe that'll make the difference. Fletching's a little bit late for Mr. Yo. The cavalry archer is there. And I think this will be enough army. It's going to be very close. That hill's really making all of the difference. Scout was able to get in somehow. Oh, the tower's up. Okay. Wall it, wall it. Oh, it's too late. It's too late. But maybe we could kill this. This is very weak. This is very weak. Gonna get in the tower. Gonna kill a villager. Nice. Kill a second villager, maybe. Look how weak these cavalry archers, though. These two archers could probably take this. With that tower doing even more damage, I think it did its job. Hopefully these archers will be able to pop out, kill these two cavalry archers. Kill him, kill him. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Might even be able to repair it and save the tower. Oh, come on, attack! Oh, no! Oh, that was so close. That was a misplay. But this is huge damage onto Vivi. This villager's still alive. Could make another tower. Look at the economies. It's a 6 villager advantage for Mr. Yo. But did he do enough? Maybe if that tower is able to stay up. Man, this would be a whole different game if that tower is able to stay up. Hey, welcome to the chat. Vanderleaf. Glad you said hello. We're watching an excellent game right now. Could go either way in an instant. Mr. Yo gonna place a tower up on his gold. And on his stone, interestingly. Not a lot of stone left here. The wood, however, is looking very exposed. Gonna try to wall it a little bit with some market and some stone walls. Mr. Yo has enough army to defend, but the thing is the cavalry archers are so much faster. And looks like that tower is not going to get up. Going to lose 1 villager there. Down to 4 villager difference now. This one's very weak. 3 villager difference. And all of these villagers still working away. Gonna ignore these raiders. Villagers in Age of Empires not known for being the smartest. And now we're down to a 2 villager difference. And Vivi will be ahead in the villagers by the time Mr. Yo gets up to the next age. Alright, so who has the advantage in this game? Mr. Yo did a lot of damage onto Vivi as he's done this fast castle, and now Vivi's done the damage back. I think I like Mr. Yo's position a little bit better. He's going to have a lot of resources by the time he's up. Oh, I don't know. It's hard to say. Yeah, I would say this is pretty close, actually. These walls are certainly going to buy Mr. Yo a lot of time. Going to really help to prevent these raids. Mr. Yo has the stone for stone walls, though. I don't understand why Palisade, because this is very weak here. And Mr. Yo shouldn't be taking any more damage in the next few minutes. And kind of as we expected, Vivi's just going to go after that weak portion of the wall. Mr. Yo needs to move into position. The skirmishers will be strong enough. And I don't think a tower here is necessary. I think go for it. Well, it doesn't really have the wood for a town center. A lot of cavalry archers coming out from Vivi. Military's 13 to 19 now. Bear in mind, Vivi's army will be stronger. Vanderlof, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. And now Mr. Yo, with his upgrades, is going to try to do a little bit of damage here. Siege Workshop coming from Vivi. All archer range units, of course, from Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo still has that stable from earlier in the game, however. He wants to make a knight for the siege units. And that crossbow upgrade's a little bit late. Maybe could have gotten an additional villager there. 7 villager lead for Vivi with that second town center up. Will Mr. Yo add another town center? Will he add another military building? He's going to add another town center in the back of his base. Town watch being researched. And Vivi still has enough line of sight to see the archers, as it is right now. And this cavalry archer is just going to look for some lone farmers to pick off. We should see a fast reaction from Mr. Yo if he wants to save him. There we go. And we can really see the mobility of the cavalry archers doing quite a bit here. Idling quite a few of these farmers. Oh boy, we can see a big mangonel shot. Oh, that was close. That was a close one. Mr. Yo's going to have to go back for now. These towers are still pretty good, though. They're still pretty effective. Maybe he's probably having a very hard time for wood this game. That's why he got the town center in this position. Remember, those pawns make it really awkward to take some of this wood. And if you play this game enough, you know how difficult it is to get wood on wood lines that are hard to saturate. Really, really is terrible. So one villager down from Vivi here. Not a lot of damage inflicted onto these crossbows quite yet. Mr. Yo just trying to be annoying with these crossbows. They become less and less valuable over time as the cavalry archer switch occurs. Third town center from Mr. Yo. Villager numbers 5 ahead from Vivi. That's an okay mangonel shot, but again, just mangonels are not very effective against cavalry archers. And now this raid might even up the game. We're up to like a 4 villager difference now. Not very big. Military account. 10 ahead for Mr. Yo. I would say this game is pretty dead even right now. Even a slight advantage for Mr. Yo. He's done some a good job with this raiding. He's defended against the raids of Vivi without too much damage being taken. And he's going up to a 3rd town center right now. Part of this, again, I'd like to emphasize it, but Vivi is having a hard time for wood right now. Can't take this wood over here. The saturation on this wood is pretty bad. And the wood over here is pretty bad. So maybe he's had a hard time making enough military, making enough town centers. to capitalize on his advantage earlier on in the game. Wood is probably the most important resource in the game. You have to have wood to make farms, so you could argue wood's more important than food for that reason. And of course, gold and stone are kind of like luxury resources. A lot of upgrades coming in. Husbandry, horse collar, leather archer armor. They're kind of those tier 2 upgrades. And look at the strength of the cavalry archer difference. 50 HP and 1 armor. 70 HP and 2 armor. Ballistics coming in for Vivi, though. That's a nice one. It's certainly very important. I'd rather have ballistics than the armor upgrade. But the armor upgrade really makes a big difference for skirmishers, as we all know. What screen resolution do I use? I use 1920 by 1080. For standard resolution. Here comes a mangonel from Mr. Yo. They're gonna put on a little bit of pressure. This is a good spot to push. This is gonna be a nice fight from Mr. Yo. Gonna get ahead in the military count again. Looks like he took out a mangonel. This is looking really bad. Vivi has lost a lot of army recently. Again, this town center is idle. These villagers are not taking wood. And Vivi's gonna have to come up with enough army to somehow defeat this mangonel. Another mangonel will go down. This villager is not going to be able to repair it in time. Or is he? Looks like he will be. And that was a little sloppy, losing 2 right there. Vivi's just focused on taking that mangonel down. This is very sloppy from Yo, though. He's losing a little bit of his advantage. Lost 4 cavalry archers and a mangonel. Gonna lose 4 Oh no! Gonna lose tons of cavalry archers here. That was a big throw. That was a big throw for Mr. Yo. Wow. There's many different places at the same time. I'm gonna lose even more everywhere I turn. Mr. Yo is losing units everywhere. How about over here? Oh, he lost some units over here too. So now the military count is dead even. The villager count is dead even. Under the rainbow. Oh no! That could be a very expensive loss. Cavalry archer's gonna try to save this. Gonna try to get a big shot. There we go. And maybe Vivi can catch these cavalry archers out, though. Remember, these cavalry archers have ballistics already done. This is going to be a win for Vivi in the south. Mr. Yo not running back quite yet. 2 more mangonels out from Mr. Yo, though. And a castle coming up. This is where it counts. Mr. Yo's lost a lot of army, though. Still ahead by about 6 or 7 military units, though. And will Mr. Yo be able to get away? Yeah, he's tricked his opponent. Vivi thinks he's ran around in the south, when really he's over on the right side. And that gate has enough HP on it, actually. You don't need to lose the villages here. But this is where the game is at. The cavalry archer is going to get right in under the mangonel. Mangonel's going to get a decent shot. But Vivi does not have enough army to prevent this castle. This castle is going to take away this area of the map. Vivi, of course, is going to lose even more access to wood. And I don't even know if he sees this castle. He must. As that's a lost mangonel. Shoot! Shoot! There we go. So that town center is down. Once again, this fight's going to even up the military count. And everything looks pretty similar in the stage of the game, except for access to wood, I think. So that castle's going to go up, help prevent any push through the middle. Help protect the gold. But again, what about that wood? So these 2 towers did go down. Vivi can now take over this wood. I would add like 3 lumber camps to this area. This wood's very inefficient. These cavalry archers, how are they still alive? How are they still in Vivi's base? That should not happen. Mr. Yo finally getting ballistics. Actually getting scale barding armor as well, so I wonder what he's planning. Oh, planning the Tarkans again. Mr. Yo has had a lot of success with Tarkans so far this series. Actually, both players have. And really, I'm loving all this crazy action in the Castle Age. Such an aggressive civilization. What is this? Mr. Yo going forward for another castle. Gonna get caught out, though. Gonna lose a lot of villagers. Mr. Yo's farms are quite all over the place. Villager count dead even. Mr. Yo, double the army. This town center on the right side looks to be going down. Look at these villagers. Look at how inefficient they are. There's the GG right there. Vivi not having enough resources to wood. Can't keep up in army. Positional advantage for Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo just able to keep pumping out army. Keep pumping out army. And he's got a great position in this game to take it. Which is why Vivi resigned. Awesome game 3. So far to an awesome series. A lot of aggression in the Castle Age in this one. Mr. Yo able to do a lot of damage to Vivi as he went for that fast castle, limiting access to wood. Able to have a solid defense against Vivi's cavalry archers. And then able to push it right back. Excellent game. I'll see you in game 4. Where Vivi will try to take a second game. And Mr. Yo will try to take the series. See ya. Pretty good series, wow. Score right now, 2-1. And they should be starting the next game fairly shortly. They're already in the lobby. Put a timer on for 3 minutes. And they should start by then. Thanks to everyone who's joined us today. We're up to 72 viewers. Awesome, awesome stuff. I hope you were able to catch the weekend SmackDown this week. I casted with Willis. And we casted only Yucatan matches. The weekend SmackDown, by the way, we've done this for 5 consecutive weeks now. But it's every Sunday, usually in the morning, around 16 GMT. We cast a single day tournament, usually lasts 3 to 4 hours. Any players from rating 0 to 2300, sometimes it changes based off the tournament, are able to join. So you're able to see some players that you might not have seen beforehand, and usually we're featuring a particular map. So last week was Yucatan, we've done Arena, we featured Arena. The week before Yucatan was Migration, so we're featuring some of these maps that you may not have seen so much. And getting to learn more about them and appreciate them. So please join us Sunday, around 16 GMT. And hopefully you could be a part of that. Here we go. Welcome, welcome, welcome. This is going to be game 4 in the Legacy of the Huns semifinal matchup between Mr. Yo and Vivi. In the bottom left of the map, we have in red Mr. Yo, and in the top we have Vivi playing, of course, in blue as the Huns. If Mr. Yo wins the next game, he should be able to move on to the next round where he should, spoilers, face MBL for the title of the Legacy of the Huns champion. Vivi is going to look to win the next 2 matches. He's going to have to win the next 2 matches in order to go to the finals. Otherwise, the loser of this match will face the Viper for the bronze match. And this tournament has had so many great players in it. Every player just at such a high level. What an honor it would be to be first place in this tournament. Even second place, really, but first place, wow. You have to be really among the top of the competition to be able to do that. So first 2 games, we saw Vivi going crazy with a crazy aggressive playstyle. Second game, much more standard from him. Actually went for a Dark Age Rush Fast Castle, which is a little bit risky in itself. Mr. Yo playing a very standard game. He's been doing feudal rushes each of these games. We'll see the strategy on this particular map. 4 deer in the back. Gonna find all of his sheep right away. That's always nice. Very odd part of the map. In fact, where's Mr. Yo's wood? Wow, look at this left side. How barren it is. So this is his main wood this game. This is a critical area of the map for Mr. Yo. He can wall here. Okay. Can wall here. Can defend from early rushes, but I'm thinking Castle Age. Archers getting behind this wood line would be very nasty for Mr. Yo. And as well, we saw last game how important it is to get a stable wood income. That really hurt Vivi going into the later game. Wasn't able to make enough town centers. Wasn't able to make enough military to defend himself because of his wood income was so bad. Partially due to the map and partially due to Mr. Yo abusing the map with some towers and aggression. And going on to the later stage of the game, which wood will Mr. Yo move on to have a better wood income? Maybe this one over here. Very aggressive though. Already we're having a scout on scout fight. Vivi is getting his sheep, one of his sheep back, and Mr. Yo is stealing the other two. This is going to get down very low. What you should do, you should bring the villager last second, because otherwise the scout's just going to run away. Like that. And Scout should still be alive. It's going to be very close. It needs 3 more hits to go down. And Mr. Yo is going to steal 2 sheep. So good start for Mr. Yo. He's able to get his Scout out alive, steal 2 sheep. He's even disrupted this boar lure from Vivi as his attention's been distracted. And looking at Vivi's map's not much better. It's completely barren here. He has some deer on the left side. Golden stone exposed on the front. Right side, nothing going on there. I dare to say it, but Vivi's map is even worse than Mr. Yo's. These are 2 of the worst Arabia maps I've seen in a long time. And boy. Man, Vivi's eventually, by the Castle Age, going to have to get off of this wood line and go over here, I suppose. So, since both these maps are so bad, I would expect to see a very aggressive game. This game could end in the Castle Age, maybe. Maybe even in the Feudal Age. You know, one player could have a significant advantage. Because you're going to go full on into the aggression. If you place a town center anywhere, it's not going to be gaining you resources for too long. It's just more villagers you have to worry about defending. I would go full into the aggression, full into military production, full into upgrades. And 5 HP, 9 HP. Mr. Yo somehow got back in that scout fight. I don't know how. So both players' scouts very low. Mr. Yo's even going to try to block this boar lure. 1 hit, 2 hits. Kind of a tricky situation for Vivi. He doesn't really want to attack the scout. But he's done a good enough job at distracting it. Got very close with that arrow fire. Now Vivi going to lure that boar a little bit late. And there we go. Early barracks coming up for Mr. Yo. So we see a lot of different Dark Age and Feudal Age strategies from these players. I believe this is the second time Mr. Yo is going for a Dark Age rush. And one thing we have not seen so far, we have not seen a classic Men-at-Arms rush. And that looks to be what Mr. Yo is going to do this time. We've seen the Dark Age rush twice. We used to see Men-at-Arms rushes all the time. Dark Age rush became nothing at all. And I'm glad to see that come back a little bit. And now a classic Men-at-Arms rush. So 2 on gold for Mr. Yo, early barracks. He's going to make one as soon as he has 60 food. There we go. And it's going to come forward. The Men-at-Arms rush is one of the most aggressive strategies you can go for. If you go for a Dark Age rush, it gives you some nice flexibility. You can transition to archers. You can go for a fast castle, but it's not really as aggressive. The Men-at-Arms is just to get that upgrade. The 100 food, the 40 gold, really puts a big strain on your economy. And you want, and the Men-at-Arms in the early Feudal Age is so strong. So this is a very heavy investment for Mr. Yo. Looks like Vivi. Vivi's up on 23 population, so much later. Sorry, yeah, 22 villagers. Yeah, 23 population. They should have more resources to play with. Could even go with a scout build. I expect that's what he's doing. And while the tables have turned, Mr. Yo with a 4 villager Men-at-Arms forward. This is very strong. Very strong. Especially with how weak these scouts are. Gonna get 2 hits right there. Oh, that's a huge deal. I don't think Vivi's seen this. Any reaction from him? No. This is big. I said we could be seeing a very short game. Vivi could be in a lot of trouble if he does not see these villagers. How would he? Well, this is how he's going to send 5 of his own villagers forward. And that could be still very problematic, as they're going to run straight into the villagers of Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo has men-at-arms coming in. Stable coming up. And a tower coming up, but that tower will most likely... It might not get denied, actually. Gonna be close. And will these 2 walls get up? This wall is still not up. This villager's gonna get very low. 1 villager only building this tower. This is a very precarious situation for Vivi. Stable is up. And Vivi needs to get this tower up, but he needs to not lose any villagers. This villager's very weak. This villager's very weak. Oh, could have gotten away, but he's gonna go down instead. This villager's 1 HP. Run away with that one. Oh, it's gonna be close. And that villager's gonna... Oh, what? The men-at-arms hesitated. What? So, luckily Vivi got that tower up, but might lose his own tower. This is a critical part of the game. We're only 12 minutes in. That villager's gonna take 2 volleys. Gonna pop in the tower. 2 scouts out already. That's nice. And will Mr. Yo get forced back here? It looks like he will. Those 3 men-at-arms, still great HP on them, though. And where are we left? We're left at a 1 villager advantage for Mr. Yo. KD's 3-1 for Mr. Yo. However, Vivi avoided the worst. He's got access to stone currently, although another tower could come up, and that could prevent access to stone. Vivi's got to have a hard time making scouts right now. He's very low on food. Should have enough to defend, and that's going to be a win from Vivi. If Mr. Yo can come back with all of his villagers, then perhaps can make something out of that. But back at home, no stable for him. So he's stuck onto infantry. And Vivi might even go across the whole map and start a forward of his own. He's got a good military advantage now. This is what happens when the men-at-arms rush doesn't work so well. You're kind of stuck. You don't have a stable, really. Mr. Yo's just getting double bid X now. It's such a huge investment. Luckily, those men-at-arms will be able to take out 2 more scouts. And Mr. Yo's going to come back. And this is a little risky. That villager's actually going to die. That was a bit of a misplay from Mr. Yo. Players need to be a little bit more careful with how much HP they have on their villagers. That's going to be 2 hits and down. 1 more hit. 1 more hit. There we go. Wow, that was perfect. Didn't even take a hit from the spear. So many villagers are going down. I have a hard time keeping track of who's still winning in this game. Let's check back after this fight. What in the world is going on right now? It's so messy. 1 archer out from Vivi, though. That's strong. And a skirmisher coming out as well. Man, this is so messy. It sucks for Mr. Yo, though. He's still stuck on infantry. Vivi's got 500 wood in the bank, which he has not been managing very well. Power coming up from Mr. Yo to protect the gold. First archery range coming out from Mr. Yo. And Vivi's got 2 villages left, and he's going to mine the gold. Maybe walk all the way back to his base with that gold. Villager count right now, it's 2 villager advantage for Vivi. 5 military advantage for Vivi. KD 11-7 for Vivi. So still at a good advantage. And he's got these 2 forward villages, which could be nefarious. Perhaps with a forward tower somewhere. Tower here could deny gold. That's 4 villagers. They can get up a tower pretty fast. I would go for a tower right here. Try to deny that gold. Mr. Yo's going to protect this very important part of the map with a tower. Vivi now getting horse collar. But both players' economies are hurting a little bit, as they're just trying to get as much military out as possible. And Mr. Yo trying to get up with these walls real quick. That'd be a good good place for a palisade gate. You can get more HP on it, maybe. But no, that villager's going to get those walls up. And that's really good. Didn't want those archers running around. So Mr. Yo, he's got a base that looks like a base now. He's got, you know, a little bit of a wall here. Got a tower up on his main gold. He's got a tower up over here. This is a solid defense from Mr. Yo. This gold is still very exposed, though. He'll need a second tower here to perfectly defend that gold. And Vivi's going to go for that tower right there, which could be very devastating. If that tower gets up, then Mr. Yo is going to have a really hard time for gold this game. Mr. Yo going to go up with another tower. There's 3 archers here, though. Fletching is coming in. It'll be done in the next 10-15 seconds. 2 scouts from Mr. Yo. Bunch of archers. This might be barely enough. Remember, these villagers are very low. At least one of them was. He's dead. And perfect defense for Mr. Yo. Might lose a little more archers than he wanted to, but he's going to get that tower up. That's the most important thing. And there we go. So 1 scout left. And that could be another 2 villagers. That will even up this game. This game might be dead even after all of this. So great defense from Mr. Yo so far. There you go. Scouts going to take out the skirmisher. Adding the scouts was an excellent decision from Mr. Yo. He added the archery range and then added the stable. And that really evens up the game. Blacksmith coming up from Mr. Yo. Villager numbers dead even. Military count dead even. So we saw Mr. Yo going forward and then being punished heavily from that. As Vivi was able to defend successfully and then push out back against the map, and Mr. Yo was able to defend against that, which then evened out the game. Turn the chat off. Now Mr. Yo pushing out across the map with scouts. How does Vivi's base look? Vivi's making scouts of his own. 2 towers coming up. Another tower coming back at home. Not a great placement of the tower. It'll help to protect the farms, though. I would... Oh, boy. It's always so hard to protect farms with towers. And as well, that tower is so far in the back, it should be over here, in my opinion. But regardless, Vivi should be able to defend sufficiently. And we'll probably see this game go up to Castle Age, I assume. Nope! Vivi... Mr. Yo setting villagers forward, regretting the decision, as he's getting pushed back now by Vivi. And Mr. Yo is just going to go back now with his villagers. And really, the scouts have been the key here. It's such an open map that scouts are able to use their mobility quite well. And who knows, maybe players will want to add a second stable for additional scout production. Nope. Second archery range being added from Mr. Yo. Back at home. If you're adding an outpost here. Let's go back to that wood situation we talked about earlier. Vivi's wood is horrible. The saturation is terrible. You can't add any more villagers to this. As you can see, the villagers are already walking around. Vivi needs to get onto another wood. Maybe this one over here, it's hard to say. But Vivi needs to make something happen. That wood is horrible. Going over to Mr. Yo. Mr. Yo's wood is okay for now. It'll be okay until Castle Age. But for that reason, I put advantage to Mr. Yo. Vivi's got to do something about his wood situation. He can't keep on that one wood. And because of that, maybe that makes Vivi play more aggressive. We'll have to see. He's gotten the Bloodlines upgrade. He's got no food in the bank right now. Mr. Yo, tons of food in the bank. I think this is why we see a difference in the strategy. Vivi's kind of got to stay aggressive so he can take another wood. He's vested into the Bloodlines upgrade. Mr. Yo's ready to click up, so Vivi needs to, again, he needs to make something happen here. And this is not going to be the fight that does it. Might even lose a lot of his scouts. And the military count's dead even. So Vivi's in a pretty poor position, in my opinion. Might have to use his market a little bit if he's got one. I don't think he does. But Vivi will be a few minutes later up into the next age, and with maps this open, I can only imagine what cavalry archers could do, or crossbowmen could do, to Vivi right now. Its gold is still exposed as well. The stone on this right side is exposed. These farmers are all exposed, and of course the wood line. So there we go. Vivi gonna buy 100 food. Sell 200 of his stone. And he'll be up to the next stage right now. And Mr. gonna upgrade the crossbow. We'll see if he adds some knights. Guess we could check his resources. So Mr. Yo's got a lot of food in the bank. He could definitely add some knights if he wanted to. Gonna add a third archery range. Hurting a little bit on gold. He might need a few more gold miners. And Mr. Yo's gonna push out right now. He's got the 2 towers defending at home. He can push out right now. Even has a military advantage. And there we go. There's the castle age. We should see the upgrades coming on the top right. Balconero crossbow coming in. And Vivi's got to conserve all of his army for the time being. Added a second tower in its gold. Great decision. This is Vivi's first blacksmith, apparently. No, second blacksmith. That's right. The first one just went down over here. So that's annoying. Another tower coming up on the farms. So Vivi's investing a lot into these towers to defend himself. It's never good for your economy. Always a drain to have so much stone. And that wood is basically out. It's a different problem now. It's horrible in saturation. It's out. There's no more wood there. There's nothing left to be done about it. And this could be a GG, honestly, for Vivi. He needs to get wood somewhere else. He needs to have enough military to get up a town center somewhere else. That's what has to happen right now. You can't play this game without wood. Maybe that'll be one of the themes of this series. Got 300 wood in the bank. Getting scale barding armor. Knights, of course, don't cost wood. Siege workshops do, however. And big risk for Vivi. Going to move out across all the way to the left side of the map. These villagers are very exposed. However, Mr. Yo does not see it. And that town center should get up. So, bit of a lucky break for Vivi right there. And perhaps this is a little bit of misplay from Mr. Yo. Maybe he should know that Vivi's this low on wood. He should protect the wood lines, or attack the wood lines. But regardless, it's still going to be a tough game for Vivi, as he needs to defend that one against the raids. And no crossbow upgrade's kind of a little bit of a mistake here. It's a cheap upgrade, and there's enough crossbows to warrant it. But the chain barding is definitely probably more important here. So Mr. Yo's going to try to protect his crossbows with his cavalry archers. And Vivi wants to have enough knights to take this out before the cavalry archers come in. Mangonel's going to move slowly. That's not enough knights, I think. I think it's going to be a bad fight for Vivi, although it's hard to tell. Luckily, that tower's going to help out. Garrison in the tower. And just as they do that, out of range. And there's the Mangonel shot, mostly injuring the knights. Once again, going to injure the knights. Going to be very close. And that's just barely going to be enough to clean up those crossbows. So Vivi just barely hanging on in this game. Look at the resources. 0 wood, 0 food, 0 gold, 0 stone for Vivi. Going over to Mr. Yo, 400 food, 300 gold, 400 stone. That's a nice Mangonel shot, though. And another good shot. 3 town centers now for Mr. Yo. And even adding a double stable. When you're going cavalry archers and you add stables, that means you're going really heavy into the castle age. You're going to add a lot of knights. You're not going to go up to the imperial age anytime soon. You're not conserving resources. You're really going all out. And what can knights do? Knights can raid under the gold, raid under the stone, can raid on this left side. It might be more effective. They're definitely going to be more effective at raiding under towers than cavalry archers, raiding under a town center. And now Vivi's going to go out for a raid. He's only got this amount of knights. He kind of needs to get a little lucky in finding something good to raid. The knights don't even have +1 attack. That's kind of important when you want to raid with knights. And Yo's going to do a raid of his own. 2 mangonos here, but there are 2 knights. Those knights could get a lot of value now, as they're going to go straight for the mangono. Mangono's going to get a good shot, though. Wow. That was a lucky one. And now knights are going to go after the scorpions. I wonder if we'll see a repair on them. Huns that are basically doing no damage. So those 2 knights able to pick... Luckily that one's hiding behind the barracks. Luckily able to pick off a mangonel and 2 scorpions. Even pick off another scorpion. Meanwhile, while Vivi's knights are over doing a little bit of raiding. Maybe able to get a villager or 2. But not a whole lot. Yo's got 2 towers here. He's going to be adding knights. And Vivi, if he doesn't pull something out of the bag, he's going to be going down to the bronze match. While Mr. Yo's going to be going on to the finals. I'd like to see something happen for Vivi. He's done such a great job so far in this tournament. Giving us so many entertaining games, but Mr. Yo is coming forward and building a castle. Where is he building this castle? Let's go over to Mr. Yo's point of view. Wow, that's an excellent castle. Anytime you build a castle on top of the hill, just casters are like, oh my gosh, that's such a beautiful castle. But that's on top of the hill. It'll take out 2 towers. It'll take out a stone of gold, thread in the wood, cut the base in half, provide a great pushing point. And military is 22-16 right now. How in the world is Vivi going to stop this? And if he doesn't stop this, how is he going to have resources? Might be enough knights. Might be. Maybe the villagers should build a tower. There we go. Castle's 35% now. This is everything. This is all in. This tower's got to get up. 3 more knights from the left. Mr. Yo bringing in more knights from the south. He's got a hill advantage. 60% of this tower on this castle. A lot of the villagers are getting distracted though. Monks can change games. He's gonna go with the Wololos. Rest of these villagers, 75% of the tower. There's only 2 villagers building. There's only 3 villagers here, but most of the army is gone for Vivi. 1 more villager down. This tower might be enough. This might be the thing that prevents this castle from going to go up. Tower takes down the last villager. There's 1 more over here. Castle's on 80%. It's kind of like a doubt castle. That was so close, though. So close. On the one hand, the castle is denied. 4 more villagers coming forward. More villagers coming forward. All the villages. Mr. Yo's sacrificing his economy to get up this castle. However, in that whole engagement, Vivi did lose all of his army, and this castle will get up eventually. Maybe should have seen 2 towers on top of this castle. That would have been better than 1. And GG right there. Mr. Yo is going to go on to the next round. What an excellent series from these 2. Final score is going to be 3-1. Excellent. I would love to see these players play even more. I hope you guys really enjoyed watching these 2 legends of the game. And enjoyed, you know, seeing Hun Wars can be pretty fun as well. It's been a long time since I saw the Hun Wars. They have changed a little bit, but I think they've changed for the better. These strategies were great. We saw men-at-arms rushes, we saw scout rushes, we saw other kinds of rushes. A lot of action. None of these games dragged on to Imperial Age, really. Wow, what an excellent series. There we go. Thanks everyone for being with me on Voobly Official. Really appreciate it. My name is Nobody. I've been on this channel for a long time, and I will continue to be on this channel for a long time. So please hit that follow button. Please show up. I'm going to find someone to host. Thanks to all 76 of you that joined us today. Again, next event should be the Weekend SmackDown. Join us Sunday, 16 GMT or ish. I casted last week's. Last week's was Yucatan. Next week's I'm not sure. It might be posted already. Racer is doing that tournament. And let me check if it's already been posted. No problem, everyone. There we go. Weekend SmackDown. Hosted by Racer. I don't think the next one's been announced quite yet, but we typically do them every Sunday. Please join us for that. 16 GMT. It's an all-day 1-versus-1 event. Willis has been casting most of these. And yeah, you'll be seeing more casts from us. Please join us for those. Voobly Official, we're a community channel. We have about 5 casters right now, and we're still adding. If you're interested in streaming with us or gaining some casting experience, we have an application down below, or you can contact me through however you want. And our individual channels are down at the bottom as well if you want to follow me there. I also have a YouTube channel as well. So you can find that on my Twitch channel. If you want to see our uploads, we upload to the Voobly Official YouTube channel as well, which you can follow below in the stream. And I'm going to find someone to host. Thanks everyone for being with me.